This is something that people are having a hard time understanding, but I'm going to try my best to explain it to you. If you want to watch anything involving politics, you can't look at something in terms of a flash moment, some little microscopic slide, and extrapolate. Politics is like blood pressure. It goes, it's up and down, it varies, it depends when you're looking at it and who's doing the readings. Now, these are fundamental tenets, I would think. These are axiomatic. But when it comes to Donald Trump in particular, all bets are off because nobody can think clearly. Nobody can focus on what's happening. People go nuts when it comes to Donald Trump. They can't react. They lose all connection to reality. Well, we're going to change that. And I'm going to explain a few things to you. And this is not meant as pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro-anything. This is an observation as to American politics, as to a race that is upcoming. It's called psephology, P-S-E-P-H-O-L-O-G-Y. We'll talk about that in a moment. I want you also to like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that little bell and notification so that you're aware of live streams and new videos, and pay attention. Also want to say a special shout out to our sponsor, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. There is not a person on this planet, or in this country, I should say, really, to be honest with you, to be fair, who has never heard of MyPillow. Nobody. It's probably the greatest brand ever. And while all of these other corporations are having boycotts and they're going woke and this and that, fine. MyPillow has remained steadfast in giving you the best products regarding sleep and slumber and luxuriating. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. I know, tautological nonetheless, but you'll get a free gift. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Now, Trump derangement syndrome is in full force. Something happens. It's an allergic reaction. The country, the world, we are apparently allergic to anything involving Trump. When it comes to Donald Trump, people just, they can't focus. And he does things. He knows that nerve to hit. He's like that person in your life or your family who knows when to look at you, roll their eyes, say something that to the rest of the world may not seem like much, but to you it just sends you off. He knows your pressure points. He knows everything that drives you crazy. And the worst thing you can do is to ignore him. Like the great line from Fatal Attraction, I will not be ignored. So he's sitting back and he's letting DeSantis bring it on. I'm not saying it's a rope-a-dope, but he's sitting back and watching this. And he is skillful when it comes to maybe not playing the foreign policy world, maybe not playing classic Washington politics, but when it comes to politics in general, there's nobody like him. And watch what's happening. He's also picking on Fox News. He knows where it's instinctual. Fox News is just decaying before your eyes, and it will remain this insipid, vapid, tasteless, bland, anodyne. Look at this. Look at Kayleigh McEnany and how he's immediately jumping. He knows exactly where to go. He made her. He made her. And if it wasn't for him, she'd be doing car shows. She has the vivacity and the camera punch of an assistant principal. She was a good secretary, good press secretary. Not at first. Later on she was. The best ever was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who had it from the beginning. But now, even though she realizes, because she's at Fox, she says, I don't know where to go. And you're starting to see this. And whether you like it or not, Fox is still the magnet, the firebrand. This is the demonstrable focus point of the right wing, or whatever you want to call these people. And these names don't even apply anymore. Right wing, left wing, nationalist, woke. I hate woke. And I use these terms just for purposes of shortcuts. But let me tell you something. Watch what happens. And if you want to remember this, remember I'm telling you this, the first time that there's a debate between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, what that does in terms of political maneuvering, in terms of the party, I don't know. What is it, July next year? That's when the convention is going to be. But if you want to see just a human being completely just be destroyed, watch that one. Have you ever seen those time-lapse photos of like a mouse or something putrefying, decaying, desiccating? It's just like this time-lapse, with flies, and it turns into a ball of hair. That's going to be DeSantis. Because the old guard, the old Republican guard, the institutional heritage Republicans, the country club Republicans, the anybody but Trump Republicans. Because don't forget, Trump's biggest detractors are not from the Democrats, but the Republicans. Watch what happens. Never underestimate him. And nobody knows how to play him. Nobody knows what to say. They don't know how to neutralize him. The way you get to Trump is you draw him out and then you treat him like a lunatic. Draw him out and ignore him. Anticipate what he's going to say. Thank him for his service. Thank him for everything he's done. But treat him like he's from some other place, some other period of history. Make him an anachronism, but be respectful, but dismiss him. Don't play into him. He's going to come at you. He's going to do everything. He's going to know every hot button, everything. You've got to be a focus. Now, what he should be doing too, and what he's not doing, and he's never been able to do this, because he's great at playing the bass. But in terms of the rest of the country, lousy. He's never given you a consistent worldview, an idea of that where he's going. If he were to be elected right now, what would he do? What would be the first thing? What would he do? He says these things like, I would end the conflict in Ukraine. No, you wouldn't. Don't even say that. You're losing me with that. Don't say that. You're not going to lose. It's not going to happen. But we'll get to that part later. Remember, it's two parts. The Republican battle first for the nomination, and then, if he's successful, and I don't think he will be. There's no way that... I don't know how they're going to rig it. I don't know how they're going to do it. But as you know and I know, and we've got to be careful how we say this, elections today mean nothing. They're ceremonies. They're like the Washington Generals and the Harlem Globetrotters. It looks like a game. They're keeping score. There's a referee. Professional wrestling. There's a referee. It looks like there's rules. They're counting stuff. They seem to be paying some form of attention to the rules and who wins fair and square, but something tells me that... So watch what happens. Never, ever, ever rule Trump out. Never. He's the most dangerous. He's like this cornered rat. You get him in the corner and he goes crazy. But if he pulls this 2020 election stuff, if this is his... Remember when Lenny Bruce was indicted or charged, and he would go on stage and start reading from the newspapers or reading the indictment? Nobody cares about this. Nobody cared about this. Nobody even remotely saw anything through this. It was crazy. It was such this fixation, this weird kind of focused lunacy. He can't do that. But I'm going to say it again. This is the only man who can speak extemporaneously for 2 hours to a group that waited 24 hours to see him. This is unheard of. Let me say this again. This is unheard of. Nobody's done this. Nobody. So you can say whatever you want about him. As a president, as a foreign policy architect, I'm not going to argue with that. As a politician, no. He's in a league all his own. A league all his own. It's like what Jerry Douglas is to the dobro, he is to politics. There's only one. That's it. There's only one Jerry, and there's only one Trump. DeSantis, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He is, God, sometimes people, and they're in their lackluster, can sometimes, it's weird. Look at Bobby Kennedy Jr. with spasmodic dysphonia, with that Katharine Hepburn kind of quiver and raspy. I don't want to say it's not a gimmick, it's his trademark. He makes it work. I know that sounds weird when you say, but you say, okay, that's his thing. Calvin Coolidge made the silent Cal or whatever it was. This, remember the old joke where somebody said, Mr. Coolidge, President Coolidge, I bet a friend that I couldn't get you to say 3 words, and he says, you lose. That was Calvin Coolidge. Everybody had their thing. But DeSantis, what's his thing? What is it? Great legislation, but when he opens his mouth, something happens. Or something doesn't happen. I don't know what. And you can dismiss me all you want. You can say, oh, that doesn't matter. It does matter. I don't know what it is yet, but he's got to work on this. You put it this way, when Nikki Haley, is more vivacious than you, wow. He's not Steve Forbes level yet, but he's close compared to the Monty Rock III, the Rip Taylor of American politics. Ask your parents. Trump? No. So you watch him. Watch what he does. Do not ever, as George Bush would say, misunderestimate Donald Trump, because he has just started. I'm just getting started. Okay? What was that, son of a woman or whatever that was? In any event, thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And don't forget, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and get a free gift. And now please comment as you see fit.